Yo. All right, 1 second, bro. 1 second. Hold on. Let me see how to put y'all on. Like, yes, copy. Uh, What's going on, man? Hey, Noob, click. I sent you a private chat thing. Let's see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just post it right here. Yo, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. Kappa Alpha Psi, bro. Yeah, I'm on StreamYard now, man. I'm on. I gotta get my boy on here with me. CJ, click that link I just had on. Let's see. I got a link in the chat, CJ. Click that link for me. I'm finna get my brother on to talk to y'all, man. Hold on. Mm. Got you.
Yeah, man. So what it was, I'm on my Mac.
Got you.
I'm on my Mac, and it made me go to Google Chrome. So
yeah. Oh, I got you.
So what it was, I'm on my
Got
Mac.
you.
I'm on my Mac, and it made me go to Google Chrome. So
Oh, I got you.
So what it was, I'm on my Mac.
Hold on, bro.
I think I needed to get off YouTube.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I hear the echo. We gonna wait to see how many people we get on, bro.
Okay.
We gonna see how many people we can get on here. And then we gonna chop it up. We on 10 minutes early. I told them I was getting on at 7:30. So I'm gonna just see how many people pop in, man. What's going on, y'all? What's the word, man? So I got my frat brother, my boy, my dog, my brother on. We gonna talk about a lot of different stuff. It's a former Division I athlete, former football player. He got a very interesting story that I want to talk about. I want to share with y'all. So I'm gonna wait till some more people pop on before we get to talking. You know what I mean? Before we really get to talking. But in the meantime, what's up with y'all in the chat, man? What's going on?
Man, listen, bro. I just want to put people on. Shout out to Rob J, bro. This is what I'm working on. Like I said, it was the Pharrell Williams Lego set. So
Right.
So that's what I was working on when you
Listen. Rob finna have to get on here too in a minute. Yeah, we got to get Rob on here too, man. We're gonna have to get my boy on.
You know he'll jump on.
That's a fact.
Jump on.
Yeah, he definitely get on, man.
Right, hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You got it all set up. Yeah, I got this little ring light sitting back here. So we're gonna see how many people we're gonna pop on real quick. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, but y'all say what's up, y'all. Say what's up to my brother, man. Hey, I'll put up some pictures. They talking about you look like Franklin Saint.
Bro, I get that a lot, bro. Hey, that's a good compliment to have, though. I ain't even understand.
Damn, it just get all the women, man. Yeah, and I'm like, dang, huh?
No, I was gonna say somebody called me that. I don't know if I was somewhere. I was out of town. Somebody referred to me. I was like, listen, I ain't even tripping about that.
Right. Look, when he said it, I say, dang, bro, do look like that. Damn, some Idris from Snowfall. I'm like, I ain't never thought about that, man.
Nah, bro. Listen, it's a great compliment, so I appreciate it. Listen, if it'll put me on, open some doors for me, I ain't gonna turn it down.
Right. Zero, what's going on, boss? Man, I got my he say he look like you from K-Town. No, man, he not from Chicago, actually, man. This is an Arkansas brother.
Oh, that's a place in
West side of Chicago, K-Town. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, this is my boy, man. This is my dog. So y'all seen I put the pictures up in the community tab. Brother. So not my actual biological brother, but this my brother through a lot of life trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So former Division I football player at Arkansas State University. We're gonna talk about his journey. My boy was a walk-on and then became a scholarship player.
And
I thought,
we gotta throw that in there.
What'd you say?
It said and starter. So
And a starter, right? Yeah, we can't act like you was sitting on the bench. You was a starter.
Yeah, nah, definitely wasn't on the bench, bro.
for a bowl team that went to a bowl games.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So we'll definitely be able to get into all of that.
Yeah. So I wanted to share his journey on here with y'all. Y'all love sports like I do. So I wanted him to talk about his journey from playing college football, collegiate football, becoming a brother, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and a lot of his upbringing, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So yeah, I'm like, man, we're gonna get on here. We're gonna share that for a minute. I'm Holly Grove, Arkansas, my folks town. Holly Grove, I ain't never heard of that.
I heard of Holly Grove.
You have? Okay. Oh yeah, you know better than me. Yeah.
I'm finna try to pull YouTube up because I'm just on StreamYard, so I can't see the comments.
Oh, you can't see the comments. Okay. Yeah.
So I can't.
Hey, somebody, she said she from Little Rock.
Oh, we got the crib in here, the 501.
Yeah. So then look, hold on. My other homie from Little Rock in here too, man. Rob J should be up in here in a minute. So yeah, she said Little Rock, Arkansas. So okay. Yeah, he Pine Bluff. So I already knew. 2 more minutes, we're gonna get to talking. I'm gonna just give 2 more minutes for people to come on, and then we're gonna get to talking the whole story. LaDonna, what's going on? Miss A, what's up? She called me Flex from 101. Remember Flex?
Yeah. I feel like I got it. I'm trying to get the live chats just so I can be able to respond.
Okay.
Right now I can't see nothing.
You can't see it on that, right? Yeah. What's up, y'all? What's up? So this is the first interview I'm doing on the channel. And so I told y'all I would be doing a lot of different stuff on the channel. I got the StreamYard up and running. So we gonna hear a very interesting story. He said you do kind of favor Flex on 101. Man, I've been hearing that my whole life, Teron. For real. So, Yo Mills, LeBron catching heat for becoming welcoming beef. Yeah, I saw that, Chris. You hear me? I ain't like that either from Bron. Look, man. You know Bron my dog, but I ain't like that. I told y'all, black folk be acting like drug dealers. It's like community leaders. We gotta cut it out. Yeah, so yeah, I'm switching it up, man. I'm switching it up. Miss A say, nice to meet you, Mills friend. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy CJ. So matter of fact, I put up a picture on the community tab when me and you got our master's degree on the same day, CJ.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We definitely did that. Definitely.
Yeah, when we got our master's degree, I put a picture up of us the day we graduated.
Okay.
He said, "What's going on, CJ?"
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm so late. I think I got it though.
You got it
to where I can see if somebody right in there. So
okay,
so we good.
Okay, cool. She say, "Beautiful yours." Hey, Mac, what's going on? I'm glad to have you in there. I feel like I ain't seen you in here in a minute. I'm talking to beautiful yours. Romeris, what's the word, man? I'm glad you on here. So, peep, we finna get started.
Okay.
All right. So, as y'all see, this is my brother CJ on here, man. It's my boy. I met CJ at Arkansas State University during my grad school years. And when I met him, we've been locked in like this. We brothers of the same fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, got the cane right here, you know, right? Look, now they thought I was throwing up blood when I throw the yo.
Nah. We with it.
Yeah. So look, man. So no, yeah, but I met him at Arkansas State University, and like I said, we've been locked in. So I want him to come. I wanted him to come on here and tell his story, and so he can tell y'all about his whole journey. So first of all, CJ, where you from?
Man, so I grew up, bro, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. It's just a little bit south from Little Rock, Arkansas, for those on the channel that don't know, but grew up north side of Pine Bluff, born and raised.
Okay, so how was life in Pine Bluff, Arkansas?
Man, bro, I mean, I feel like life was like any typical like black neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You got your hood. I definitely grew up in the hood. I ain't really, get into anything that I shouldn't have, but
Right.
that was life. Everybody was kind of like of the same poverty standpoint, but we was out in the streets playing sports, football, all of that. That's really kind of how I got into sports, just as a youngin', being outside, running around, playing sandlot football, all of that. And so that was kind of like how I got into it. Started playing pee wee football, everything like that. So you got about maybe 4 like high schools or 4 school districts in Pine Bluff. So I went to Dollaway, and so played sports all through high school, football, basketball, track. And I think I want to say it was probably my junior year. I started to get recognized like statewide. So I started to get some awards, started, being first team, all defense, things like that, playing linebacker. But the crazy thing about that was I was maybe 165 pounds playing middle linebacker.
Woo!
I played there, yeah, all through high school. So when I started getting looked at recruiting wise, obviously they were looking at me for a different position, like safety, stuff like that. But I never played the position. So of course it was going to be like some skeptics, some question marks, just about me playing at the next level at that position. But I ended up getting, I want to say, an offer from ULM, Louisiana Monroe,
Okay.
my junior year. And so then I'm going into my senior year, and I'm looking to rack up some more offers. My goal, I really wanted to go to LSU. So that they was known for their defense back then. So I was like, okay, I really want to do my thing. And it was probably maybe the second game of my senior year. I got into a fight, like on the field, started like a brawl, all of that. Definitely not something I'm proud of. But I ended up getting suspended for like the next 2 to 3 games. So when I got suspended, obviously the schools that were looking at me, offered and everything like that, they pulled everything. So at that point, that's how I lost all my offers, scholarships, everything like that. So that's really how I got into my walk-on journey. So I looked at it at the end of the year. I got accepted into LSU, but out-of-state tuition was going to be crazy. And I didn't have a scholarship. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to just go play for another Division I. And in Arkansas, you either got the Razorbacks or you had a school called Arkansas State. And so Red Wolves. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just go walk on there and try to, build my way back up. So that was kind of how I even really got into like the whole walk on thing.
Got you. Okay, one second. I'm gonna give a shout out to Chris. Chris, I appreciate that donation, bro. It mean a lot to me, Chris. I appreciate you, bro. You always show love, man. So, okay, so you said you stand in the state of Arkansas,
Yep.
right? What made you go with Arkansas State instead of Arkansas? Because Arkansas is Razorback country. That is Razorback. That's a Razorback state for real.
Man, it's definitely a Razorback state, man. Really, I would say family, because Fayetteville was probably maybe 4.5 hours from me. And then Jonesboro, where Arkansas State is, it was probably maybe 2 hours. So I looked at that, I was like, okay, man, because my family, they don't really like travel like that. So I wanted to go somewhere where they could come see me play. And then 2, we came up here for like a little visit. No, I take that back. We came up here for like 7-on-7. And when we came up here, bro, you know, we broke into the locker room. This is in high school. We broke into the locker room, stole some shirts, you know, saying stuff like that. So I'm rocking the shirt at school, you know, and so I'm like, okay, if I'm rocking the shirt and everything like that, like I might as well go here. I like the campus and everything. So that was kind of like what pushed me to go ahead and come here.
Okay, got you. So now we transition into you going into Arkansas State University. Now, describe the life of a walk-on football player. Like, I don't think people understand the life of a walk-on player compared to that of a scholarship player. Can you describe the difference?
Yeah. So first and foremost, I would say like a walk on, you are literally nobody. Like you are either like a practice type player, you know, or you are just there to fill seats for
Mhm.
for the team and things like that. But I would say for me, it was even more different because, like I told you, my junior year, even my senior year, you know, I was like top ranked in my position, having all these accolades, having all these awards. So being kind of like on this high pedestal, realizing like, okay, now I'm at the bottom where like these people don't know me. What's so crazy? A lot of people don't know this. At this school, you'll have like the regular locker room where either the scholarship players or like the people they asked to come are in the main locker room. Since I was a walk on, just purely just walked up on campus, we're in the visitor locker room. So yeah,
They
and
had y'all in separate locker room?
yeah, we were in separate locker rooms. Like I'm telling you, like when you show up and you just say, "Yo, I'm gonna just walk on," like you don't get none of that. So we're in the visitor locker room. Is old. You got wooden lockers. Like the showers don't really work. Like it's all of that. It's all of that. So that was kind of my process. And of course, like the level of respect for walk-ons is not of that like a scholarship player. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna obviously think scholarship players are the bread and butter, uh, guys give to this earth, and they think as a walk-on, like you're really not good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's the perception. So you're having to like deal with that. Man, another funny story. So
One
try
second, dude, 1 second. Somebody asked, did you play for Hugh Freeze or Gus Malzahn?
Oh man, we're gonna get into that, but I played for all of them. I played for Hugh Freeze, Gus, Brian Harson, and then Blake Anderson. So
Okay.
I was on the teams where we had a different coach like every single year, and that's a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna throw this story in there.
Mhm.
So after I made the team or whatever, you know, I'm a freshman on campus, so I'm trying to get to know people. I'm trying to get some girls. So I go to these girls and I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Tell them who I am. I'm like, yeah, by the way, you know, I'm on the football team. So I didn't know if you a walk on, they don't add you to the roster. So the girls, they pull out their phone, they look up the roster, and they was like, "We don't see your name." So they thought I was lying and everything, bro. So I'm like, "Yo, man." So like initially, I hated being a walk on. I hated it, bro.
Right.
It was not the thing, and man, it was really like getting it out the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like getting it from the bottom. Like that's really what it started out for me.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a humble journey from the beginning.
Got you. So I now I said this. Well, I didn't say this to everybody in the chat. I think maybe I did. You eventually went from being a walk-on player to a scholarship player.
Yeah.
What led to that happening for you?
Man, like I said, bro, I've always been the type where like I never want to settle for less than what I deserve. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I knew like my journey started off at the bottom, but I've never been like I've always been a starter. I've always been in my eyes like the star. So here I am as a walk on, you know, you riding the Benz. There ain't never been nothing, you know, with my resume. So I'm like, okay, I go through the first year. So the first year, pretty much, unless you just a stud, whether you walk on a scholarship, all freshman, red shirt, right? So
Hmm.
none of us are playing. We're in the weight room, all of that. We go through season, and so then we get into the spring. All right, so that when I red shirted, Hugh Freeze was there. Come winter, December, Hugh Freeze leave, Gus Malzahn comes in. So I'm like, okay, you know, this is my opportunity. New coach, new system. This is my opportunity to show him, what I'm about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hitting it hard, hitting it hard. I don't know if you remember or if the people on your channel remember Michael Dyer, right? So
Yeah, y'all remember? I'm sure football fans still remember Michael Dyer. He was a big
yeah.
name.
So he was the running back for Auburn when with
Cam Newton.
Gus. Yeah. So he came with Gus to Arkansas State. So I think Michael Dyer got MVP in the he either got MVP or he had just a great game in the national championship, I think.
I believe so.
Or
Yeah.
or their bowl game or whatever. But anyway, so they come. So it's spring ball, busting my ass. So I go from like just pure walk on to like, I want to say maybe third on the depth chart in my position, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 2 spots. All right. So I work up 2 spots. And so then spring game comes. Not only did I lead the entire defense in tackles, I had the most tackles in the spring game. And this is out of the starters, second team, all of that. But
You were going crazy.
I was going crazy. But I had the biggest hit on Michael Dyer. Like if you go to, I don't think it's on YouTube. It might be. If you go to Arkansas State spring game 2012, it might be on there. But anyways, made them fumble. Just straight up cracked them. And so that was kind of like, I would say, my entry point to where people started to like really notice me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, as a walk-on, don't nobody really pay attention to you. Like you really got to go out there, make a statement, like really make a name for yourself. And that was kind of my breakout moment at that point. So I finished out that spring and I ended up becoming like, I want to say, I think I still stayed third on the depth chart because I had some really good people in front of me. You had Don Jones, who ended up going to the NFL, and then I had one more person in front of me. But I started on all special teams, right?
Okay.
So at that point, worked my way up, started on all special teams. So then we go into the season, first game of the season, Oregon. That's when they had Marcus Mariota. What was dude's name? I think it was last name James or something.
Oh, LaMichael James.
Michael James, yeah.
Yeah, running back.
Yeah. And so when we went, I was the only redshirt freshman, whether it was walk-on or scholarship that went. You know what I'm saying? So I started on punt return, I think kickoff. I think I started on all those special teams. And so that was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, my entry point into getting up out of just kind of that walk-on status and starting to make a name for myself.
Okay, got you. So after you had this bid, you to play well, through all spring camp, all that type of stuff. At one point, do you get presented with the scholarship, with a full athletic scholarship?
Okay, so this is when I learned like about college football politics. So remind you, I had the most tackles in that spring game. Coach Malzahn comes up to me like in the spring, this is before the season, and he was like, I really want to give you a scholarship, but I gotta give it to somebody else.
Okay.
And it was somebody else, like I want to say that was like kind of preferred, like I don't know. That's just when I learned about like the full like politics when it comes, to college football. So
Right.
I didn't get the scholarship my redshirt sophomore year, right? But I still made a name for myself. So I'm like, okay, eventually it's gonna come. So I played that season, which is my redshirt sophomore year, just strictly on special teams, right? And I'm like, okay, my goal, I'm gonna ball out again come spring. So this when Arkansas State, start going through them coaching changes. So Malzahn leaves, Brian Harsin comes in. But the thing about like when you get a new coaching change, now they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Again, in their eyes, I'm just this walk on. So the process started all over again, right?
Oh my God.
So I ball out again spring. And so then that summer, I ended up getting, my scholarship, right? And so that's going into, I would say, my redshirt junior year. And so at this point, I'm starting. At this point. So I'm starting at like the little wolf outside linebacker position.
Yeah.
So got my scholarship. You know, I'm starting. I have a decent season that year. Didn't really lead in tackles or anything. Like I just had like a pretty good, decent season. And
Yeah.
so then Brian Harsin leaves, right?
Golly.
And Coach Anderson comes in.
Okay.
Oh, tell me why I lose my scholarship. Like they took
They
it.
took it from you because
Yeah,
they don't know you,
they don't
basically.
know me. So here I am with a scholarship starter. When they did that, bro, I dropped on the depth chart to third string.
Hold on. So first, let's recap. You
Uh,
walk on, you earn a scholarship. Coaching change happens. The new coach don't know who you are. So now you go from being a starter to third on the depth chart, having to prove yourself again. And
yep.
they took your scholarship at this point.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
So then, I'm asking them like, what was their reason? They couldn't tell me. So when you going through spring ball, you know what I'm saying? I recognize this my redshirt freshman year, but when you like third string, bro, there's literally no reps. So that means you don't really get an opportunity to show them what you got. Like you might get one rep out of a 2-hour practice. That's not enough to like show them like who you really were. So I go through spring and I don't have a good spring because I didn't get a lot of reps. So I end spring ball as third string. And
Uh-huh.
so I'm like, damn. So that summer, right? My parents come to me and they like, we can't keep paying out of pocket because I really only had like one semester where I was on scholarship, and it was like, if you can't find a way to like get a scholarship, like you're gonna have to come back home. And
Wait a minute. I ain't even know this chat. I ain't know this part of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking at that and I ain't never want to be that dude that, what I'm saying, to like give up on his dream, go back home. Folks like, man, shit, what you got going on? Like, I thought you was doing X, Y, and Z. And, you showing up back on the porch.
Right.
So that summer come and I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I gotta find a way. I gotta find a way to get it. Mind you, UAPB, which is from Pine Bluff, right? My hometown.
HBCU.
Yeah, HBCU. We playing them first game of the season. So of course,
Okay.
like family, friends, all of them gonna be in town. And the last thing I refuse is to be like on the bench. Like if hometown, we playing them.
Right.
So I go through that summer. And I'm gonna just tell you, bro, how grimy it was, bro. Like when you go through the summer, like they provide scholarship players like with stipends, you know what I'm saying, to buy food and stuff.
Okay.
So because I wasn't on scholarship, I didn't get no stipend. So, bro, I'm literally like trying to make what, like $5-10 stretch like a week during that summer. So I'm buying McChickens from McDonald's, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was again like this fall from grace. And bro, it had really got to me at that point. So I was like, man, I know I didn't come this far. I know God didn't lead me this far for me to like wash out like that.
Right.
So, bro, I remember it was at the beginning of the summer. I said a long prayer to God, and bro, I just went to work. After every workout, there was this hill like by the track. After every workout, I went to the hill, bro, backpedaling up the hill, running up the hill, staying late watching film. And so then when we go into fall camp, I just got a different mindset. So I'm starting fall camp, third string, bro. By the end of fall camp, and mind you, fall camp is only 2 weeks. At the end of fall camp, bro, I'm a starter, and I done got my scholarship back.
Let's go.
It's unheard of, bro. Like, so God was definitely with me like through that journey. And so again, UAPB come to town, I'm lit. I play in front of my family, friends, and I ended up having a good season that year. But
Yeah.
the trials that came with it, like at the end of the day, I definitely say it was worth it. But I can't lie, like going through that, it was definitely some trying times, some times where you question, like, is this really for me? Like, what
Right.
is God trying to show me? All of that.
Of course. Like, and I know that's really like a tumultuous thing. Like you saying, when your parents come to you and say, son, we can't keep paying for school out of pocket for you. Can
Bro,
you find another scholarship, or you gotta basically come back to the crib?
You gotta come back home.
That's really a gut punch because you don't want to put your mother and father in financial stress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also you still want to achieve your dream of playing collegiate football. So that's tough.
Bro, it's tough, and you see so many people, especially like I said, those on scholarships, like take it for granted or just be vicarious with it. You know what I'm saying? So coming from Pine Bluff, already not having a lot, especially like a lot of resources, you really trying to question like, yo, can I really do it? So like, even though I had confidence in those moments where I lost my scholarship and the things weren't going in my favor, a lot of self-doubt really started to come into the picture. Like, dang, man, am I really good enough? You know what I'm saying? Can I really compete on this level? Again, being a walk-on, bro, and you playing, like I said, D1. So you got these guys going to the NFL, Sammy Coates, Marcus Mariota, all these guys. And here I am starting out as a walk-on. And you had those moments where it's like a lot of self-doubt, a lot of people not believing in you, getting your scholarship snatched, all of that. And so it's really like on them journeys, it's really just you and God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
Like,
like you say, I always say this. My bad for cutting you off, bro. I always say this. My mother and them used to always say, God won't take you to what He can't take you through. So
facts.
even though, like I said, that's a crazy journey. You got a story that needs to be on a Lifetime movie or something.
Bro, man, and so we go off on a whole another tangent of just the spiritual journey, but I definitely say that was probably my first time seeing like God's hand in a situation that really wasn't working out in my favor, end
Yeah,
up working in my favor. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the thing that really stood out to me in that moment was faith without works. So of course, like I had to have faith, but I also had to like put in the work, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I said like I was doing extra work after
yeah,
workouts and all of that. And so I think that combination ended up being extremely powerful. And so that was really, I would probably say, the birth of my spiritual journey as well. Outside of like what you grow up as, you know, just going to church because your parents told you all of that. Like here I am miles away from home. And all I got to rely on is just my dream and God. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And so I want to get into this part because you going through the coaching changes. Like, my boy, I told you I had my boy Kiefer that played a season in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like basketball is so different. Hold on, hit the like button, y'all. I appreciate it. Chris reminded me, hit the like button. What's up, y'all? Aaron, Zuri. I see y'all in here, man. West Coast, the ruler's back. Stephen B, what's up, bro? I ain't want to cut my boy off while he was talking. So I'm shouting y'all out right now. I appreciate y'all, man, and appreciate that, Chris. So it's different between football and basketball, right? Division I football and basketball.
Yep.
Like y'all don't really have a relationship with the head coach in football like that. You really be with your position coaches, correct?
Bro, it's your position coach because, like you said, it's probably maybe 100 players on the team or
Yeah,
whatever. And so it's really your position coach that you probably got the better relationship with, which was definitely the case in my situation. So all the head coaches, it was kind of like I would speak to them in passing. But if we're talking about like a relationship, nah, I didn't have a relationship with them. And then again, bro, like I said, you really start to understand like the politics. Now, in their defense, you know, this is what feeds their family, right? So
right.
I can't necessarily hate, but at the same time, it's not as personal as one may seem or feel like it to be, unless you like that top dude. You know, if you that top dude, then more than likely there's a relationship between him and the head coach. Cool. But as far
Right.
as like, as it trickles on down, you know, it starts to wane a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like, and I want to talk about like this part of it too, because you were a student athlete, but you were like really you were majoring and not like in general studies.
Nah,
What
nah.
was your major in school?
All right, so you know, when I first got there, all I really knew is that I wanted to play sports. So
Uh-huh.
as a young-minded person, I ended up majoring in sports administration. I didn't
Right.
really have a goal set, nothing like that. And
Mm-hmm.
thank God I had this kind of making connections class, which is kind of like a gen ed. And
Mm-hmm.
the professor was like, for a homework assignment, you know, I want you to look up how much you'll make, with your degree. So we look it up, and I look at sports management, and I think it said like 20, maybe 30,000. And so I was like, man, there ain't no money. So
Right.
in that moment, I Googled, I said, top paying careers, degree wise, Forbes. So I look up the Forbes. I think first was like nursing, but I knew I didn't really like anything like science or anything like that. So then second was accounting. So I looked at that and I was like, man, I'm good at math. So I switched my major and I ended up getting into accounting.
Right.
And bro, that was probably the hardest. That was a whole nother struggle. What I'm saying? So that was a whole nother struggle. Didn't know how to properly study. Wasn't great at test taking. None of that. But ended up majoring in accounting. And so how it played out, because I redshirted, I ended up graduating with my accounting degree. So I had another year eligibility. So I went back and got my master's in business administration.
Got you. Hey, Chris, I'm definitely gonna make you a mod, bro. When I go to my regular chats off outside of StreamYard, I'm gonna do a live chat probably like tomorrow, and I'm gonna mod you up, bro. I don't know how to make people mods on the StreamYard through the StreamYard browser, so I got to figure that out. But yeah, I got you, Chris. But anyway, yeah. So I brought that up about you actually majoring in like being an accountant.
Yeah.
Because that's like because most kids when they athletes they just major in whatever just so they can stay eligible to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And y'all oftentimes get encouraged to major in stuff that is like that's really just something general so you can just be eligible.
Well, I'm gonna tell you two things to this. So the first is that
One second, CJ, can you see the comments?
Hold on, I'm about to look.
She asked, "Can you see the cut? Can you
I have to like keep clicking back,
going back and forth?" Okay, yeah.
I can see him though.
He can see him, Frankie. If you want to ask him a question, you go ahead. He can see it. But my bad, CJ, for cutting you off. What you about to say about
So two things. So the first was that you always have like players come back, former players come back into the locker room. So I would have guys that played maybe 1 or 2 years before me, and they were majoring IDS, interdisciplinary studies. So I asked them like, "Yo, what are you doing right now?" They'll be like, "Man, working at Frito-Lay," or which is like a factory job. And so I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, they probably nothing against them, but like their degree isn't really worth nothing. So that was the first thing that kind of prompted me to get a degree that was really worth something. But again, kind of to your point, and then talking about really the politics, I remember when I went and got my master's, right? So when you get your master's, the schedule of everything is different. So you mostly have like those night classes.
right.
So I remember I had a class during season, bro. It would start from at 6 in at like 8:30. And so I would stay for film, but then I would have to leave and go to practice. I'm a starter at this time. And at this time, I'm 2 years in the system, like the football scheme. So I pretty much know the playbook, you know what I'm saying? And so I would, have to tell coach, like, yo, I gotta leave practice and go to class. Bro, they would get so mad. Bro, to where I understood why maybe certain players would either change their degree or not necessarily take school serious and be willing to miss class because the coaches would give them a hard time. And I never really understood that.
Right.
And so, because I'm like, yo, I'm trying to like, I knew not to downplay myself, but I knew I didn't really have, aspirations for the NFL. Like I accomplished my dreams, like just on the collegiate level, but I knew that I wanted something more as far as education. And bro, like I said, they would get so mad, just me going to class and everything.
They felt like it was taking you away from football when you go into your classes.
Yeah, bro, and it had no effect on my field of play at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just like that control factor of, they want all your time, they want all your focus. And so many players, especially black players, fall into that. But then when it's all over, they don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because we talk about this all the time, but it's just a small percentage that actually go to the NFL, small percentage that actually stay in the NFL for X amount of time. So when all that's over, like, what do you really have? What did you really learn? What can you really use and leverage? And the coaches, they don't really like create a good system, especially for the black players, bro. And I
Yeah.
see it time and time again.
Yeah, and see that's the thing because I remember talking to my boy Kiefer, and he would tell me like, yeah, a lot of people would get discouraged from like majoring and stuff hard just so they can be because they want all of your time. They want you to be nothing but a football player. In fact, I know some schools because me and you are both brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. Kappa Alpha Psi. I know some schools that don't allow players to pledge at all just because they want football to be your fraternity. That's it. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So brothers gotta, if they want to be in a Greek letter organization, they gotta wait until they finish or something like that, you know?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So see, somebody said they got a question. I got a question, CJ. So
All
were
right.
you pressured into taking up a trade when things almost didn't work out with your scholarship coming through?
Nah, I wasn't pressured to, taking a try. I feel like when that time happened, I was gonna ride it out until the very end. So basically what my parents told me was like that happened at the beginning of the summer. So I knew that I at least had the full summer to try to figure something out. And so, man, I didn't really have a plan B. I'm not necessarily a fan of saying like only have one plan,
Yeah.
but that was in my younger days. So at that time, that was the only plan I had was to just make it work. And so that's what ended up happening.
Got you. Hey, look, Rob J said it's better than first take. Look, our fraternity brother, our other brother is in here, Robert Johnson. He from
Hey,
Little
shout
Rock.
out to
Shout out
Rob.
Little Rock, Arkansas, man. He said it's better than first take. Guess love, Rob.
Hey, we better than nightcap, man.
You hear me? You hear me? Look, it's finna be loud. We finna have it jumping in here for real. All the news finna be on here in a minute. You know? So somebody said, man, Myron Rowe, Chris said, man, Myron Rowe was pre-med, dominating FSU. Myron Rowe is also a brother, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Might
Oh,
I
yeah.
add? I just want to put that in there. He's also a Kappa Alpha Psi brother. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he was a pre-med student. And he was talking about having to balance that out. You know, because people was looking at him like, you sure you want to major in that? You know, be a pre-med student playing football at Florida State too. Like Florida State is like that's football is serious there.
Bro, it's super serious. But I think again too, bro, the stigma is like if you play football, you can't have another dream. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Football is not the end all be all for everybody. Some people are just naturally good at it, but they may
Yeah.
have other aspirations for other things. But again, bro, I can go off on a tangent, but not only do, the coaches want your full attention, but as an athlete, you are making the school money, especially like before all this NIL type stuff. Like
Yeah.
at that time, you are making the school money. So obviously, if you're making them money, they want your focus just strictly on that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So and that's just how it is, or how
Yeah.
it was, I guess I should say. But the playing field has changed a little bit now, where guys can actually make some money while they're playing. But back then, nah.
Got you. Leslie Barber, what's going on, Leslie? She asked, did you become a doctor?
Nah, I didn't become a doctor. I'm an accountant and I own several businesses. So I'm a businessman.
Facts. But my brother Robert Johnson, that just commented in here,
He the
he
doctor.
just got his doctoral degree
He the
about a
doctor.
month ago. So shout out to my brother Robert Johnson in the chat that said we this better than first take. He just got his doctoral degree about a month ago.
Shout out to Rob, man.
Shout out to Rob. So, but you made an interesting point though, bro. Because a lot of black athletes, a lot of young black student athletes, they don't have their whole identity is tied up into them being an athlete.
Yeah.
So you said already you knew NFL football was not in your near future.
Man.
So you wasn't stuck on, dang, I just got to be a football player. Have you seen like your other teammates had that struggle with them just being a football player and not knowing what else to do?
Yeah, bro. And this is not a knock against them by no means necessary, but you see them, they transition to like CFL, and then, it kind of goes into maybe arena football. But sometimes I feel like it's their identity, like that's how they know. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older, bro, you start to become you start to go from a boy to a man, but it gets harder to adjust, right?
Right.
It's harder to change direction. So you continue down that path of strictly like what you know. And
right.
I think for me, thankfully, God blessed me with some wisdom to maybe see further down the road. I had a
Mm-hmm.
couple of injuries while I was playing, and so I was like, man, I tore my ACL, I had broke my wrist, and so just the pain from those injuries, trying to come back from those injuries, coaches rushing you back when you're not fully healed. I just looked at that and I was like, man, I don't really want this for myself. And what's crazy, bro, I only told a few people this. I didn't even go to like the NFL level, but maybe about a year after I finished playing, for
Yeah.
at least 6 months, I was having short-term memory loss. Like it was very hard for me to like remember things like in the short term. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely contributed to football. So that was another thing where, like, when I look back on it, I'm glad that I was able to like look further down the road, because that stuff, it really does affect you or your body. And I'm not saying for people not to play or anything like that, but just being able to look outside the box and see what's next.
Got you. So you think the hits on the football field
Yeah,
affected your memory?
100%, hundred
Yeah.
percent. Like I said, during that time, somebody would tell me something, and literally, maybe like the next day or so, I couldn't remember what they just told me.
Mm.
And it didn't get better until maybe like a year after that, because I started like doing like some mind um, games and activities and stuff to like try to strengthen my short-term memory.
I was watching Derrick Rose talk about chess helping people with like memory loss or whatever, stuff like that, playing games like chess and stuff like that. Yeah. Raquel said she glad everything got better for you.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
so I want to talk about your home life,
Mhm.
right? Now you have a twin brother,
Yep.
right? Now talk to us about your brother.
Yeah. So, okay. So I got my nickname on here, CJ, but my real name is Charleston. And so my twin brother, his name is Charles. So you got Charles and Charleston. And so we are fraternal twins. So that means we don't look alike. But my twin, he's actually deaf. And so, that was a journey within itself.
So
Uh,
he's deaf.
yeah, he's deaf. He wasn't born deaf, but when we were maybe about 2 years old, he contracted a disease called meningitis that affected him to where he had to go to Children's Hospital in Little Rock, and
Hmm.
they ended up doing brain surgery on him. Like I said, at 2 years old. Thankfully, he was able to make it through, but after making it through, it obviously left him with numerous side effects where I don't necessarily like the term, but I'm gonna say the term. It was just kind of like mental retardation. I don't really like that term, uh,
Yeah.
but that death and things like that. So that's kind of what happened to my twin, and so we ended up going through elementary together. That was
Okay.
probably again another difficult time in my life because kids don't understand anything, and my brother was different, and so
Yeah.
he was in resource classes with other kids, and so I found myself trying to fight everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Just out of protection, for my brother. But that was the start of growing my heart for kids with disabilities.
Right.
It wasn't until my junior year where he finally got admitted into the school for the deaf in Little Rock. And so
Okay.
at that point, he started to go there. But I would say, growing up, that definitely left like a void in my heart and really, kind of questioned my spiritual life because, being young at that time, I couldn't understand why this happened to him.
Right.
Because what was funny, there were three other sets of twins in my school, and they were all fine. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
they going through school, hanging out with their twin. Here I am, you know what I'm saying? And my twin was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I went through that period, and that was also, I probably say, a fuel to a lot of my fire of like not giving up, pushing through adversity, all things like that, trying to, he was my why. He was my reason to
Yeah.
to do really everything. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of my story just with my brother. Still
Yeah.
here with me today.
Yeah.
Saying so. And I'm still on that journey, just trying to provide a life, not only, for myself, but for him as well. So
Yeah, for sure. I know you always at events supporting him when he at because he plays sports and stuff like that too, right? And he yeah, you go to the events and stuff like that. I
yeah,
really wanted to talk about that because like, oftentimes on the channel I talk about my son's autism diagnosis
yeah,
and and parenting a child with the autism diagnosis and the challenges that come with that and also the joys of that as well. So um yeah, hold on, my mom's trying to call me. Yeah. So he's a good somebody said so he's a good Charleston. I be getting on Charleston Whitehead. He be acting ignorant. Yeah, this brother CJ is a good Charleston. Right. I just made a
bro.
video earlier today clowning Charleston. Because he was actually talking about making fun of a child with autism. You know what I mean?
When
Earlier
dude,
today.
when dude came on the scene, I was like, dude, messing up my name, man.
Yeah. Facts. Facts, man. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, but no, this is it's a good Charleston. So yeah though, man. But I thought yeah, I really wanted to for you to speak on it for sure because I know it's a different perspective with this being it's your twin brother. You know what I mean? It's your brother that's with you for forever. So I know
Bro,
that's something that's
oh
well,
no, I was gonna say it's a real, but it's a good perspective. So when we were in elementary, he got invited to this camp. It was called Camp Aldersgate, and it was a camp for all kids with disabilities. So I go there, and bro, it just opened my mind where these kids they're swimming. I couldn't swim, right?
right.
They could swim, they could play basketball, archery, all these different things. And so I left. Well, two things I observed. Number one, if you truly want to do something, nothing in this world can stop you. But number two, like they were happy, bro. Like they had
Yeah,
a sense of peace, they had a sense of joy. And I looked at that and I'm like, yo, I am considered like normal, but you know, I at times get upset, anger, whatever. And these kids are living like carefree
right.
and they can do just as much as I can do. And that really changed my perspective on people who have disabilities because obviously we put them in a category, but they're just like us, if not better. You know,
Yeah,
and so that really opened my heart to that side, and I'm a big advocate for it. Right now, like I said, my brother goes to a program called Easter Seals. In Little Rock, which is an adult disability program. So I'm
okay.
on the board there. And then two, Tim Tebow, he does this like dancing with the stars, like for kids with disabilities. So
Okay.
he does that, like they have it in Little Rock. So I go and I'll support and help out when they do that in Little Rock as well. So
Got you, got you. Yeah, man. So I, when I remember when I was, having my son, finding out my son had an autism diagnosis, I remember you and your brother and how
mhm.
you would always be with your brother all the time. I would see y'all communicating, signing to each other all
Yeah,
the time and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, man, that's always a special thing. You and your brother bond is always like that forever. Y'all came out the womb, the same womb. So yeah. But I really want to get to also want to get to a fun part of the conversation. So me and you, belong to this right here. We belong to this bond right here. You know what I mean? So you are a brother at Kappa Alpha Psi. Um, so first of all, what led you to this wonderful bond, this wonderful fraternity?
man, bro, it started in high school. It started in
Okay,
high school. We had this thing called Kappa League, right?
right.
So it's like a high school version of it or whatever. So at that time, I just strictly wanted to get girls. I saw like the other Kappa League folks, they was getting girls. So I was like, I'm gonna join. And that's gonna be my thing. So did that in high school. So then mind you, nobody in my family plays, nobody in my family Greek. So I come up here, A-State, and freshman year, I'm like, I think I want to pledge. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like I'm not biased or anything. Like I was looking at Q Dog, I was looking at Kappa. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I looked at both. I would say the thing that kind of like changed it, changed it for me was like number one, I had started like with Kappa League. That
Right.
was the first reason. And then number two, I knew the Qs up here like they shaved their head bald. So I was like, nah, I ain't messing with that. So
Right.
So I started, looking into Kappa Alpha Psi or
Right.
whatever, and I started getting like my hours that I needed and everything like that. And so I think it was maybe my junior year. Like,
Okay.
I wanted to play a sophomore year in the spring, but
Right.
they didn't have a line. They ended up having a line in the fall, but I was in season, so I couldn't do it. So I ended up waiting to my junior year in the spring. They ended up having a line, so I pledged spring 14.
Yeah. And so now with me and you, I'm reading the comments. No. So when I became a brother, you was already in it for about, man, you was in it for like 3 years, I think, at that time when I became a brother of it. You know what I mean? And so like I remember, and again, I'm like you, when I first saw the organization, smooth Kappas, smooth brothers, the girls like the Noops, the Kappas. So, that was something that, of course, we all saw that like, man, it's something cool. But I really enjoyed the brotherhood that I got, that I saw from it, and then after becoming a brother, I got connected with brothers like you, Rob J, Rob, this in the chat, my line brothers, and nothing but it was like y'all was all upstanding dudes. You know what I mean? So that's what made it an enjoyable experience for me because I was around nothing but upstanding men, and all us was always looking out for each other. All us was always uplifting each other. All of that. Like I remember when we were online and my line brother, his apartment complex burned down.
Yeah.
And you all came to give him money, clothes, and everything in that situation. That's when I knew I had joined the right organization. When
Facts.
I seen y'all came, you in particular, you and your line brothers came with money. Y'all came with clothes for him and everything. That's when I was like, oh, that's love, man. There's love. I joined in the right chapter and with the right brother. So that's what like had me connected to y'all after that.
Man, it was definitely a brotherhood, man. Not to talk too much about the process,
Yeah.
the process that you go through, like you really bonded, you know what I'm saying? So like
Fact.
for us, spring 14, like I said, man, bro, it started out with 7 of us, ended up with 5.
Yeah.
And that 5, man, we were rock solid. Like we realized that we really made it through all of that and we were gonna be bonded brothers for life. But
Yeah.
not only that, but like we were able to show up for one another, like once all of that was done. So
Right.
if a person had a graduation, person, had a game or whatever, like we always showed up for one another. And I think that was the real thing that really like grew our bond for one another. And
Mm-hmm.
so then, like, as younger bruh started to come in, we took that in and instilled it. And so, when you and your line came through, bro, it was nothing but love of just making sure, y'all felt the love that we had, you know what I'm saying, when we were
Yeah.
going through and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So I put up a picture of us in the community chat. Remember the one you had your shirt off on the couch?
Oh,
I put that
and,
up. I put that picture up of us. We was at your house, matter of fact, at
yeah,
your spot.
we was at my spot. We was
Yeah,
at
we was
my
at
spot.
his spot. And we all on the couch, all right. This is during homecoming time. Homecoming 2018, I believe that was. Homecoming
Bro,
2018.
that's when everybody comes back,
Yeah.
chilling. We was smoking hookah, drinking. We was chilling. We was chilling.
Yeah, so I can't, I'm not gonna be there this time around. I'm gonna come next year for homecoming and stuff
Oh,
like that for sure,
for
for
sure.
sure. So I just wanted to, talk about that aspect of it, but I also want to talk about um, what was life like for you after your time as a student athlete ended. What did you end up going into for work after after your time as a student athlete ended?
Man, life was a whirlwind. Like after, like I ain't even gonna lie to you. So
Fact.
ended up, like I said, getting my accounting degree, and I ended up getting my MBA, my master's degree. At that same time, I was in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Just being young, I thought that I
Yeah.
had found the one, and I ended up getting an offer for an accounting firm in Little Rock.
Okay.
They was gonna pay me 50,000 right out the gate.
Right.
I know I'm finna catch something in the chat for what I'm about to say. I know I am, but I'm gonna just
Hey,
keep
it's all good. Look,
I'm
speak
just
your
keep it
truth, bro.
real.
It's all good.
So she didn't want to move to Little Rock. She already had a job lined up. And so I was like, okay. At that time, you know, I was believing in us. So I turned that job down and I took a job here, like an accounting job here for like a trucking company. I think they paid me 30,000. So basically I took 20,000 less. And then maybe in about 6 months, we broke up.
Dang, that's how life go.
So
You
I
took
had
less money to stay with your woman, and then y'all end up breaking up.
broke up, bro. That was my first time ever going through, I would say, like a real true heartbreak, because we were
Yeah,
living together. So I had to basically start over. You know, I had to go get a new apartment. I was still stuck with this job that I never really wanted. You know, I only took it just to stay here with her. So at that time, I don't feel like, I think the thing about depression, like, was existing, but it wasn't like what it is now, where everybody just used that term and it's like a whole social media like movement or whatever. Like this was like almost 10 years ago.
yeah.
So
This before mental health was really
yeah,
like a popular thing to talk about. Yeah,
yeah. So, you know, at the time I didn't really know how to deal with heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm drinking, I'm trying to like just move on. And bro, like the pain was unbearable.
you
And
remember I was
so,
talking to you like every day.
bro, every day. And so it got to a point where, you know, I was talking to some of my homies, and you know, the going thing, like with black men, bro, there's plenty more women out here. Bro, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna find somebody. Bro, I'm not trying to hear that.
Right, of
I'm not
course.
trying to hear none of that. Like
That's and that's the real part. Like men just be like, you have found another woman. You need some counseling through the healing, through trying to heal through being with a woman you've been with for years, and y'all just split up. Men just be like, you have found another woman. Nah, you need a real another type of talk, man.
bro, I was not trying to hear that. So, like I said, at that time, alcohol was kind of like my coping mechanism. And I remember, bro, one of my cousins, he was a therapist. And so he was like, you know, you just need to write down your thoughts. And I thought that was a very powerful statement, because most people don't talk about like black men having journals or anything like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I did it. I got a journal and I started writing. Next thing I know, like I'm still writing, bro. I'm writing beyond just the breakup. I'm writing about the whole scholarship fiasco. I'm writing about, you know, growing up with my brother being disabled. And next thing I know, bro, I look up, I got a book on my hand. And so I'm like, dang, man, you know, I ain't never thought about like writing a book. Ain't nobody taught me, showed me how to do it. And so at that time, I was like, man, I got all this info where it's just raw. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, man, a lot of black men need to hear, you know, this story.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I'm finna write a book. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
literally that was the start of, you know, my autobiography, The Black Accountant, that's on Amazon. And
Let's
that's
plug that. The name of the book is The Black Accountant on Amazon.
on
You know
Amazon.
what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? But that's what led to me writing that book. And in that book, I just kind of basically talked about everything. Hold on, Noop, you still there?
I'm back, bro.
Can you
My,
hear me?
I bet. Yeah, my bad.
Okay. No, that was literally why I opened up about everything from heartbreak, spiritual journey, my football career, uh, talked about my brother, like everything like that. So that's how that book came into existence.
Yeah, fact. Yeah, so when you wrote that book, I remember when you told me you was putting it out. You like, bro, I'm finna put a book out, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, man, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Like you said, you turned and Raquel say a book born from a painful season. She like,
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear. Yeah, and I remember like you was really, because I remember you was going through it. Because CJ, what your plan? Wait, what did you play at?
bro.
What was your weight?
I ended up getting up to about 200.
Two,
And when I went through that breakup, bro, I think I was like 165.
bro. I
Oh,
remember with you. I'm like, I saw you was losing weight, and I remember Terry Mahajer was like, man, you got skinny. Remember that time we was at the homecoming? Because you had lost a lot of weight
yep.
from, going through that depression with that. You know what I mean?
Lost,
Yeah.
lost all that weight. Really lost myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know which direction to go in. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was so crazy, bro. So wrote the book, and you know, I've always been a dreamer. God
Right.
kind of has to orchestrate me. But I thought I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this book. I'm gonna be New York best time seller. That didn't necessarily happen. The book did what it needed to do. You know what I'm saying? It touched the people that it needed to touch.
Right.
But I was still stuck at this job. So, man, I was like, I'm gonna move to New York. So I'm applying for jobs in New York, maybe like 100. Got turned down from all of them. So I'm
Right.
still stuck at this one job. So then that's kind of what opened my entrepreneurial type mindset. So I started a clothing line around that time, self-love. Um, did that for maybe a couple months, but quickly realized I didn't really want to like market and tell people to like buy my shirts, stuff like that. Like I really hated it. But it was
Right.
really one of those things of like trying one thing, seeing it didn't work, and keep, trying to find the thing that's for me.
Right.
So 2020 comes, COVID happens, and a guy introduces me to real estate. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, I never heard about real estate, nothing. And I read maybe about 5-10 books. This was like right before COVID happened. Like I read them in January, and
Right.
COVID started happening majorly like around March. And I told
Right.
the guy, I was like, man, I really want to get into real estate. What do I need to do? So he was like, you just need to get your first rental property. So he
Yeah.
taught me a strategy. I didn't really have a lot of money. I maybe had $3,000 at the time to my name.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, dang, man, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if the time is right. But I just kind of prayed about it. I was like, man, I didn't come from nothing. So the worst thing that could happen is that I go back to not having nothing.
Right.
I'm used to it. So, bro, literally took that 3,000 that I had, completely wiped out my savings, got my first rental property. Right when I did that, COVID went into full effect and my job cut my salary in half. So
Dang.
yeah, bro. So again, I'm entering this adversity. So I tell my younger brother, I do got a younger brother. He came up, we painted the house, we fixed it up with maybe $500. I put it on a credit card, fixed it up, got my first renter. And that birthed my real estate career, bro. And God really showed me his favor because for the next, I ended up like emptying out my savings. And in about a year and a half, I had $100,000 in the bank. And
That's what I'm talking about, man.
I had grew my real estate portfolio to about 1.5 million in assets in about a year and a half.
Man, that's real. That's real. That's God for real. And you only had the dude to tell you about that one guy to tell you about real estate. Basically, you took that and then went with it.
Took that, just went all in with it, read like 15, 20 books. That's another thing too, man. You gotta read. That's where everything is at. But
She said 100K. She said, teach her right. He got to teach me, Raquel. I don't know nothing about it. I need that.
man, I'm gonna get into the other side of that in a minute, but
Yeah.
that's really what happened. And it was so crazy, bro. Just going from nothing to something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Trying to find a way, trying to make a living, especially like starting out how I started,
Yeah.
So I'm about to paint a picture though. I'm about to paint a picture. This is why I say, bro, like at the end of all of this, no matter what I say, if your viewers, your followers can take away like trusting God and really building your spiritual journey, it's all gonna work out in the end, right? So I
Mhm.
gotta bag up. When I first took that job, from my ex, being in a relationship with her, my vision, my dream was to always work in a corporate office, right?
Right.
Keep that in mind. So, I go through all of that with her that I explained, go through all those entrepreneurship things, and I get into my real estate, and I ended up making $100,000. But because life, I didn't really have any pure financial knowledge, like with that type of money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In about 6 months, I lost it all. Lost
Mm.
it all. And so maybe in the last 2 years, interest rates have gone up, insurance has gone up. So I had to sell off some of those properties that I ended up getting.
Right.
Right. So I had to assess. It broke my heart losing all that money, bro. I was like, dang,
Yeah.
man,
I'm
but
sure.
it, anything in this life doesn't last. Like if it's from the world, it's here today, gone tomorrow.
Right.
Anyways, what I learned is that, okay, if I ever want to get back to this place, I need like some financial literacy. I need to know how to manage like this type of money. So
Mhm.
I keep going on. I'm still working the same job. COVID happened, so we were working from home. That's why I was able to like build my real estate career. But after COVID started to like dwindle out, they called us back in. Well, they had sold their building, so they made me come work at their house. I know you remember the phone conversations we used to have about that.
Right.
Here I am after growing this real estate business. I'm working. I'm back working in their house out their bedroom, and I'm like, man, God, like I know this ain't my life. Like I know I have all these aspirations. You know, I fell from grace again, and so the job that I got now, and I've been there maybe 7 months. The
Mhm.
job it was a CFO position. So
Right.
the job that I'm working is a staff accountant position, which is kind of like an entry level accounting position.
Mhm.
So this position comes where it's like a CFO for this company in town. And so I'm like, man, I don't really know if I'm qualified, but I'm tired of working in this house. So I'm just gonna apply. So we get into the interview, bro. I'm having a good interview and I get asked back for a second interview. So we do the second
Right.
interview, and in there they're like, man, we want to be really candid with you. Um, our company used to be at this peak, and we went through a financial situation that made our company like not go in the right direction. And bro, as soon as he said that, bro, I don't know, it was like a wave of joy just came over me. And I knew at that moment that I had the job. And the reason being is because they were looking to hire somebody to help them out of that position. I just went through that in my own personal business where I was up on this and I lost it all. And I
Right.
and so when you have that full vision, you see that God was preparing me for the job that I was about to enter. And it's amazing because again, no prior like real CFO experience. So I'm going from like a staff accountant position to a CFO of a multi-million dollar business here in Jonesboro. But
Right.
the experience came from me. And I thought I had failed, bro. I had got my real estate up. It was my thing. I had made all this money. I lost it all. And I thought I had failed. Whole time
Right.
God was preparing me, what I'm saying, for what I was about to go do for this company, bro. And ever
Right.
since I've touched foot in this company, bro, it's been on the up. And so that's why I say, bro, like at the end of the day, it's really about what God is trying to get out of you. And you can either
Mhm.
lean into it or you can run from it. And I truly feel like God really had his hand on me through everything that I've been through in my life, everything that I've experienced from heartbreaks to, you know, different types of drugs, being broke, having money, losing it, all these different things. Like it has truly played out to who I am today. And I can't give nothing but all my credit to God.
Nah, facts, man. Listen, you got a hell of a testimony, bro. Like for real, an amazing one. And yeah, I think people need to hear stuff like stories like this, from the stories from again in real estate to football to all of that. Like it was all in a relationship going bad and you climbing out of that situation. I feel like you got a very powerful story for real, and I wanted people to really hear it. 'Cause like I said, you got a lot to offer across a lot of different conversations. So I'm like, man, I gotta get my boy on here, man, to really talk about it. Cause like I remember when certain stuff was going on. And like when you turned this situation from heartbreaking to writing a book and you was just kept doing different things, trying different stuff, I'm like, man, my boy, you a resilient person. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people wouldn't know how to bounce back after that type of heartbreak. When the first heartbreak is always really rough. That's rough. So, and I remember, like I said, I was talking to you, and then I remember you was start doing this. You started doing a lot of different stuff, and I'm like, man, I was happy. And then you just started taking off doing a lot of different stuff. So yeah, it's always great to see your journey all the way through.
Man, nah, bro, I appreciate it. And like I said, the journey, it isn't over. I feel
Right.
like it's just getting started. One of the things that I'm trying to do is kind of build up like a public speaking platform. So
Hmm.
one thing I like doing is just kind of telling my story, encouraging other people. So I definitely been doing a lot more speaking engagements. I'm definitely still dabbling in real estate. Uh,
Right.
somebody got a question or something? Or you
No,
fix?
go ahead. Go ahead. You good?
Okay. Definitely still dabbling in real estate. So
Uh-huh.
Been working on a few projects there, and man, really just looking to see just kind of like what God got for me, bro. To
Yeah.
say that life is great, I'm not gonna say that. I still have different things that I'm experiencing, different things that I'm working through, but just
Right.
that faith walk, and just
Yeah.
just continue to grow.
Facts. Facts. Now, if any of y'all got any questions for my boy, y'all can drop it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got some questions y'all want to ask him, whether
Yeah.
it's about him being a Division I football player, writing a book, all of that. We can talk about a lot of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all getting on too. I know some of y'all could be doing anything on a Friday night. So I appreciate y'all getting on here with me, man. But they probably gonna ask about you a Dallas Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, man. We've been I ain't even got nothing to say about that right now.
She said, question, what's your proudest sports moment?
My proudest sports moment. Okay. So I kind of touched on it a little bit, but my proudest sports moment was when we played UAPB and I ended up like working my way back up to a starter and I started that game. The reason that was my proudest moment is because if I go back to high school, I actually visited with UAPB, right?
Okay.
And I would have went to UAPB if they would have gave me a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
They told me, they said, they had me go on a visit and everything. They said, because you from the crib, like we're gonna give the scholarship to like some out of state players. We want you to walk on. And
What?
I came
Come
in.
on now. What?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I told them, I wasn't gonna do it. And I kept that card. I kept that card. So when we played them and we beat them, 63-3, I believe, or something like that. But being able to start that game, it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By them turning me down and everything like that. So that was probably my proudest moment.
So I'm gonna speak to probably why they did that. Somebody said I just saw y'all brothers was live, wanted to show support. Really like what y'all represent.
Nah, for
Tim
sure.
Mac, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate you locking in with us, man. Look, my boy got a very interesting story, man. So I want him to come on here and talk to us about the life of being a Division I football player, all of that. So I wanted to get back why they probably didn't want to give you that scholarship. You know, HBCUs, you should have been a scholarship player regardless, right? You were way too good to not be a scholarship player.
100%.
What happens is a lot of the HBCUs do not have the funding for a lot of them scholarships. So they want to only use it on people who are out of state. That's what was going on at Mississippi Valley State. They were trying to get as many players in state either to take academic scholarship if they were good academically, all of that, and try to come on rather than giving them outright scholarship, unless they were just super, super extremely great. But a lot of the scholarship kids were from out of state.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And Mississippi Valley, the youngest HBCU in the SWAC, they don't have a lot of resources either. So that's Rock Valley in the hole that they in right now, as far as like athletically, because we don't give the maximum amount of scholarships you can give. And the ones we get, they try to get to some players out of state, you know what I mean? And just, because they trying to pick and choose, I guess, they try to be selective about who to give it to and all of that based upon them being out of state, stuff like that. But yeah. But man, that's crazy. I was gonna ask you, did you ever consider UAPB for real?
Yep, that I definitely did. Definitely did.
Yeah,
Like I said, if they would have gave me a scholarship, I would have went there. It
got
wasn't technically my dream, but I think during that time when I had lost the scholarships from other players, I wasn't trying to put my family like in a bind. But when I saw that they was gonna want me to walk on, I was like, well, I might as well just walk on, at D1. So that's kind of what pushed me on out the door with that.
Got you. Yeah. So, if anybody got any other questions y'all want to ask, y'all definitely drop it in the chat, and CJ definitely will answer it. But
Yeah.
yeah, though, like Raquel said, the Lions handed y'all a nice L. She from Detroit, so
And that handed us a L. Saints handed us a L, man. I ain't. I ain't too much into it.
That's how it be.
I,
Boy, when your
I
team
ain't,
losing, boy, when the Bears be losing like that, I would be
I
so
already
mad.
know. They doing all right right now though.
Yeah, they doing pretty well. You know, we ain't played no real great teams, but we beating the guys we supposed to beat. Caleb Williams is progressing very well. So I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We on a bye week this week, then we play Jaden Daniels at in Washington.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we gonna see how that go for sure, for sure. But as far as like but we were talking, you know, you talking about your football journey and stuff like that. No, me and you have had conversations about cause wait, Dollaway, that's a school in Pine Bluff,
Yeah.
right? Was anybody else on your team a D1 like D1 football player? Did anybody else go D1?
Yeah, man. One of my best friends, Booker Mays, he came up here with me. So we actually walked on together. So that
Oh,
made,
Book from Pine Bluff?
yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Got
what
you.
made the process a little bit easier. We walked on together. So
Okay.
we grew up together. And then my business partner right now in real estate, Kyle Coleman, well, he didn't walk on, but he came to Arkansas State on scholarship. He went to another school in Pine Bluff called Watson Chapel, but he ended up coming to A State. And then it was a guy from Dumas, Darian Griswold. He ended up coming to A State like around that time. So it was a couple guys that I had already knew that
Got you.
came that year with me.
Got you. So Book was a receiver in high school and
Yep.
then still was a receiver in college. Right. Both of y'all did earn scholarships, being from walk on to earn the scholarship. That's crazy. That's your best friend too. That's crazy.
Man, definitely. So I had got mine first, and then Book got his. And man, I mean, the good thing about it is that you could tell we were both genuine friends for one another because we were both so happy when each one like got a scholarship, and we were roommates. You know what I'm saying? So it just made the process just a whole lot easier. Uh,
Yeah.
Having somebody there with you that is going through the same thing you going through, it definitely made the process easier.
Got you. Tim Mack say, what was your position? Sorry if you already answered. He said I came in. You know, I don't think you answered about high school. I don't know if you did. What's your
No,
position?
I didn't really. So I basically played the nickel position here, and again, like I said, I can't credit nobody but God because all through high school I played middle linebacker. So that transition, trying to play pure safety, was going to be hard for me. But nickel is basically a linebacker slash safety. So all run schemes, all run fits fit perfect for me. All I had to do was adjust to like covering the flats, covering like the hook and curl. We didn't really play a lot of man, so play
Right.
position, so it fit my skill set really well.
Got you. Tim Mack said, do you have any highlights on YouTube?
You know, I don't know. I know I got a highlight. Well, I just kind of put a highlight on my Instagram page.
Okay.
The accountant _5. If you go to the like at the bottom, I got like a little reel of some highlights. I don't think I got any A State highlights though on YouTube though.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Yeah. So Tim, yeah, he basically like he earned a scholarship from becoming a walk on. And you know, he was talking about, you know, the trials and tribulations of um earning a scholarship and then the coaching staff changing and then having to earn a scholarship back because the new coach that came in don't know you. They don't know who you are, have no idea about you. So now you gotta prove, you gotta earn a scholarship again, essentially. You know, because you had your scholarship taken when a new coach came in after you already earned it and had to earn it back. So that's a whole journey. Raquel, what you about to say? Any I think you didn't finish your thought, but what you was gonna say, Raquel? Any YouTubers you paying attention to right now? She said any YouTubers that you paying attention to besides me. She said.
Uh, yeah, I watched this guy Ed Milet, who is kind of like a motivational speaker, and I watch him just. I think his content is really good, but also just trying to, you know, grow my speaking career. So I kind of watch him. So I would say Ed Milet.
Uh-huh.
Um, I want to say that's it. But you know, I'm gonna use this opportunity to shout out my girlfriend's son. He got a page. So,
Okay,
if y'all want to go like his page, it's called the King Moody Was Here show. So he
okay.
basically like does
This
like,
it's called the King Moody Was Here show.
yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
So, I'm gonna plug him in. I know
Yeah, that's love. That's love.
he could use his,
Raquel said Ed Milet, Mylett.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, that's what you're talking about. So also Tim Mack say, did you do all 4 years in college?
Yeah.
And you didn't consider doing a walk on for any NFL teams?
Did all 4 years in college. Definitely did not consider doing anything NFL. And the reason being, like I said, I didn't really have any aspirations, but also the game before my last game of the season, I tore my ACL. So that pretty much was out the picture for me anyway. And that was my senior year, tore my ACL and everything. So that was pretty much out the picture. And I'm
Got
gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Not to go off into a tangent. I felt like I was good in my skill set um for the position in the school and the level that I was playing with.
mm-hmm.
I not to downplay myself or anything, but I didn't really think that my skill set and my ability would be good on the next level, right?
Okay.
And I didn't ever want to be one of them guys to think that if I knew deep down in my heart like that wasn't the case. And I think that's cool to be able to realize that about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that because self-evaluation is always good. A lot of brothers, me and my boy Blake would talk about. Because my boy Blake ended up playing overseas for about 2 years and then went to go get his master's degree from Columbia, the
Mhm.
Ivy League school in New York. And he was like, he didn't want to be a dude that was chasing a dream that really wasn't there just to say he was still hooping. You know what I mean? He was like, I really wanted to try to do something with my degree or try to, and try to do something different. So he went and did it. But yeah, Tim Max said he just came on 10 minutes ago. So yeah. So my boy CJ played at Arkansas State University, which is in the Sun Belt Conference, Division I school. Did y'all go to bowl games every year you played?
Yep, we went to bowl games every year. We won 4 out of 5 conference championships, so was able to get 4 rings and
You
everything
guys
like
like you
that.
got the rings. You got the rings, bro.
Yeah, got
Hold
the
on.
rings. So that was definitely a cool little aspect of my journey as well. So it definitely, paid off. I didn't leave with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
got 4 rings. I think one of them was a back to back, and then one was a three-peat.
Okay.
One was a three-peat in there. So,
Got you. Yeah. I'm about to say because y'all know when I came, by the time I got there, y'all was still rolling. I remember the first game y'all played Mizzou.
bro,
My first.
and we brought Mizzou here, bro. That was
Yep.
probably one
That
of the
that was the thing. Mizzou came to Jonesboro, Arkansas.
yep. So
And that
Mizzou,
game was probably the livest college football game I had ever been to.
bro, we really should have won. I think we lost. I don't know it wasn't by much. You know what I'm saying? But we really should have won.
Yeah, it was a close game.
I just
Yep.
I just dropped his page in the chat.
Got you, got you. Yeah. So y'all, he put it in. King Moody is here. That's the channel to go to. He said, what made you go into real estate? Sorry again if you already addressed it.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Like I said, I think I had got to a point where I realized there had to be more to life than just working 9 to 5. And so I had a guy who was kind of like my mentor at the time. He kept asking me about real estate, but I was like, man, I don't want to deal with toilets, nothing like that. But then he
Yeah.
gave me a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, read the book, and I liked the concept. And so I started reading more and more books. And so that's kind of how I ended up getting into real estate.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Raquel says she got a dip. I'm glad I caught this live. Much respect and best wishes, CJ. You can see it
Thank
on
you.
your
Thank
end
you,
now.
Raquel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. So no, but yeah, I like from all of us talking about, all of the ups and downs and trials and tribulations, what would you say? Um, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. First, we're gonna do it different ways. What would be your advice to any young aspiring student athlete?
My advice would be you got to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to know yourself. at the end of the day. And what I mean by that is a lot of people get identified, by football, by sports, and then they quickly realize that they don't really know who they are. Like
Yeah.
knowing yourself, you'll know if you really got a legitimate chance at the NFL. If like that's truly what you want to be, true what you want to do. You got the skill set. And then you'll also know if that's really not the case. And then you'll know kind of like, okay, well, if I know I just want to fulfill my dream of playing college, this is actually what I want to do. A lot of people never really know what they want to do because they don't really know themselves, what they good at, what
Hmm.
they're not good at, what they favor, what they don't favor. And so I would tell any person, around that age to really be able to figure out who you are and not just be doing stuff because it's a popular thing or because somebody told you to do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to really stand on your own 2 feet, stand by your own morals and values of what you truly believe in. I think that's the start of the birth of like who you'll be like going into the future. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm gonna compliment that with having a relationship with God. I think that too, knowing who you are, knowing who God is to you, that's an unbreakable bond, and I think that's a recipe for like a good life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I agree with that sentiment, or that statement, 100%. Um, Somebody also said, "Do you think the real estate market?" Simple. My boy Simply Ball dropping. I appreciate. Look, he showed me how to do this yesterday. That's my guy. He the one that showed me how to bring people on
Oh,
stage and use the StreamYard yesterday.
oh, that's
So
dope.
yeah, yeah. So I got to give a shout out to my guy, man. I appreciate you checking in. So I don't know if you see it. Tim Mack said, "Do you think the real estate market is in a positive direction?"
Right now, I don't think it's in a positive direction because insurance. Well, let me say this: it's in a decent position because interest rates have started to drop. But what I tell people is that if you can find a way to get in right now and find a good cash flowing asset, knowing that interest rates are eventually going to drop even more and more, like you'll put yourself in a successful position. But, one thing I tell people, anything related to business, stock market, real estate, is never a right time. Like every day is the right time because every day somebody is getting in and making money. You just got to make sure that whatever you're buying, you are buying, making, with the right decision. But I would say
Yeah,
any time is a good time because it's an opportunity.
got you. Yeah, Tim. So he definitely dropped that knowledge for you, Tim, man. Yeah. If anybody else got some questions too, y'all can come on and drop them in, man. You can drop them in. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, look, you never told them about your lungs collapsing.
Uh, Bro, my life has been so crazy, bro. It's been so crazy. Yeah. Okay. So maybe about 8 years ago, I was actually rehabbing for my ACL. I just finished playing or whatever. And one day I was on campus. I was having the hardest time breathing. And I thought I just swallowed something wrong. And you know how it is, man. You like, I don't want to go to the doctor because I ain't really got no money. So I ain't trying to pay for nothing.
Right.
So I went a whole day and the pain kept getting worse, kept getting harder and harder for me to breathe. So finally, like I went to like the little campus clinic on campus, and they did an X-ray, bro, and my right lung had completely collapsed, and it had been collapsed for like a day or so, like
Mm,
crazy. So ambulance came, they rushed me to the ER. I ended up having basically surgery to like inflate the lung back up. And they did
right.
a thing called plastering, which is like gluing the lung to like my rib cage in order to like keep it up. So I was in and out of the hospital for like 2 or 3 weeks. So that was 8 years ago.
Right.
I don't know if me and you talked, Nuke. We might have, but my right lung collapsed again about a month ago.
You told me. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
That same one. And it was probably 1 in a million chance of that happening. And it happened literally like a month ago. And I basically had to go through that same process all over again. And so, what's crazy is I asked them, is this something that I'm gonna have to live with, for the rest of my life? But they can't really say. They were never able to identify the cause. They were never able to identify like what made this happen or anything like that. So
Hmm.
it's just one of those freak accidents.
Yeah, because I sure was gonna ask how what led to it, but you said they don't even know how what caused it for real. I
No,
know you do a lot of working out, but I don't think that's what caused it for real, probably.
I don't think it had nothing to do with working out. Like normally when a person has like a lung collapse is in when you are like obese, overweight. Clearly I'm
Okay.
not. Clearly
Right.
I'm not. So or it's hereditary. I think that's the cause, but like nobody in my family has had lung issues or anything like that. So it was a weird thing that I went through.
Yeah, for sure, man. But we glad you all good and back to health. You know what I mean? I remember when I called you, that's when I found out you was in the hospital. I called you about the Colorado game, and
Yes.
then you were like, I'm in the hospital, bro. And I'm like, dang, what? You know what I mean? So it was like, I found out, on the fly, basically, because you had just got into the hospital, I think like the day before or something like that, or maybe the same. Might have been the day before, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, man. So also, man, you do a lot of traveling,
Hmm.
right? A nice amount of traveling. What's been some of your favorite places that you visited?
Man, definitely New York. I've been to New York maybe like five different times. I got a
Yeah,
shy in there. I had a fabulous time when I went to the shy, linked up with Malcolm.
for
Oh,
sure, man.
showed me the city. Uh,
Yeah,
so I would say New York, the shy. Man, I've been to London. I went on a study abroad trip to London. I loved it there. I was there 3 weeks. I've been to Aruba. Loved Aruba. Canada was a sleeper for me. It was a great trip there. So those are like a couple of my favorite spots that I've been to.
got you. Simply ball dropping. I appreciate the donation, brother. It mean a lot to me, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. So nah, you didn't win a lot of different places, man. You came to Chicago for the first time. It was like 2018 with your book.
With
With
my
your
book.
book.
With my book.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
went to go ate the Giordano's pizza. We went to go check out the beach.
Went to the pier.
Yeah, we was all around out and about, man. So yeah, we had a good time, man. But I ain't know you been to New York 5 times.
Yeah, bro. 5 times, bro. I love the NY. Love the NY.
Yeah. Yep, man. So let me see what else I had on there to ask about. Let me see. I feel like oh Super Bowl. Well, I know you want the Cowboys to get there, of course. You know what I'm saying? But Super
This
Bowl prediction.
Super Bowl prediction, man. Until they prove me otherwise, I'm probably gonna say the Chiefs, and I'm definitely not a Chiefs fan. But I'm gonna say, well, no, I'll take that back. I take that back. I ain't gonna go Chiefs.
Okay.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say Ravens. I'm gonna say Ravens come out.
Baltimore.
I'm gonna say Ravens come out the AFC,
Okay.
and on the NFC side,
Yeah.
I'm probably say Detroit.
Ooh, the Lions. Yeah, yeah, might
I'm
be.
gonna
For
say I'm
real.
gonna say, I'm gonna say Detroit, Baltimore. Just right now, early predictions. Um, if I had to throw another one in there just as a safety bet, I'm gonna probably say Detroit and Chiefs. But
Detroit Chiefs or Detroit Baltimore.
yeah,
Okay. Hello, Tim Mack. I appreciate that donation, brother. It means a lot to me, man. I appreciate it. So in the matchup between Detroit, does Detroit lose in both of those matchups that you got?
if Detroit plays Baltimore, Detroit wins. If Detroit plays the Chiefs, Patty might get them another one.
You think Detroit gonna beat Baltimore if they play them?
It's gonna sound like I'm a hater.
Now go ahead, go now. Say no, say
Yeah,
your opinion.
I
Say
promise
your
you.
opinion.
I promise you, I'm not. And I don't even really like. I watch sports, but I don't like debating sports because I'm not the debating type.
I got you.
I just don't know if when I think about the AFC, and I think I was gracious with letting Baltimore out the AFC. I just don't know if that style of play gets it done at the like at that game level. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
With like I feel like Lamar would have to go crazy, but it's just like any type of like playoff game, the game slows down. It's a little bit more meticulous. And so
Yeah.
when I think about like the Chiefs are not necessarily like the better team, but Patrick Mahomes steps up in these moments.
Yeah.
He's flawless. And I feel
Yeah.
like if Baltimore gets out the AFC and they get to the Super Bowl, like Lamar Jackson just has to know in his head he has to be flawless. And I don't know if I haven't seen him do it yet. And
Yeah.
I'm a Lamar Jackson fan, but I would need to see it. It's the scheme that the opposing defense has, you know, they know what you want to do, so they're gonna make you do what you don't want to do. And
Right.
his Achilles heel is being able to pick apart a defense with his arm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so if they meet up with Detroit, Detroit got a great defense. They got great defensive schemes. They got great defensive coaches. So, you know, I don't know if, and I don't know. So that's why I
Yeah.
pick Detroit if it's Detroit and Baltimore. And then like Patrick Mahomes has been known to, you know, elevate his game on those big platforms. So if the Chiefs
Man.
get there, you know.
Hey, if he win 3 in a row, if Mahomes didn't win 3 in a row, CJ, I know something about that boy. I ain't gonna lie. Like again, Tom got 7. I never foresaw anybody getting that amount as a starting quarterback ever in life. But 3 in a row, CJ, that's serious. That's real. In football, you dudes don't even never teams don't go back to back in football for real. You know what I'm saying? 3 in a row, he do that? Man, yeah, he's something different. He's something different.
I tell you, dog. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I ain't gonna hold you. I know you we done been on here for almost 2 hours. I ain't gonna hold you. Take up too much of your time, man. But
Nah, that's good, bro. I enjoyed it, bro. Like I said, man, I'm glad that I could come on and support. I'm trying to figure out like how I can contribute to your channel because I've been seeing like other people. I don't know where to go to though.
oh wait. Y'all don't know how they would how do people get the that's a great question. I don't even know how to
If not, I'm gonna just cash app you. But
I appreciate it, Noob. I appreciate you, bro.
yeah, I'm on here. But nah, bro, like I said, you got a great channel. Like the show today was amazing. I love the questions that you asked. I love, you know, you taking the time to kind of dive into my story and giving me an opportunity to explain my story to your followers and everything like that. So I'm definitely grateful, bro. And you know, I'm always locked in with you, dog. So you know,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
from me, you know, I'm always gonna support, always be there for you, bro. But I just again just appreciate the opportunity tonight, dog.
Nah, man, listen, you made all this happen, man. You got one amazing story all across the board for everybody to hear. I appreciate you coming on. This was last minute. I really hit you up a couple of hours before. Like before I got my daughter from school, like, hey, can you hop on tonight, bro? And you came on and hopped on for me with no problem, man. So it mean a lot to me, man. Look, so we gonna this ain't the last time y'all gonna see CJ. CJ will be on. Again, we talk about some other sports probably after we watch some football games or something like that. He'll be back on again, man. But but I appreciate you, Note, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. Machiavelli Mills TV. Yeah, we signing off, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Tim, man, very good show. Keep doing what you're doing, both of you. I appreciate you, Tim, and I appreciate the donation, boss. All right, I'm signing off. I'll holler back at y'all in a minute.